Just give me the thumbs up. We will call to order the Monday, May 2nd, 2022 Town Council meeting. If you would stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. First on the agenda is the approval of the memorandum of the April 11th, 2022 regular meeting. A copy has been posted. Are there any questions or comments? Otherwise, I'd entertain a motion. So moved. First by Councilor Melton. Second by Councilor Culp. All those in favor signify by saying aye. 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 All those opposed, same sign. Motion passes 6 in favor, 0 opposed. Up next would be the approval of the memorandum of the April 18th, 2022 regular town council meeting. Again, any discussions or questions from the council? Make a motion to approve those minutes. Second. Second by Councilor Culp. All those in favor signify by saying aye. 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 All those opposed say sign. Up next is a request to speak. We have one request to speak on agenda items, and this is from Amanda Rubrick regarding resolution 2022-06.
Good evening, Town Council. Amanda Rubeck, 8180 Shaldon Court, Zionsville, Indiana, 46077. The Zionsville Chamber Advocacy Committee and Zionsville Chamber of Commerce would like to express support for the farm with Pittman Partners and Scannell Properties. This development is a gateway entrance into Zionsville from Michigan Road. As you have seen in their presentation, this development is well thought out, of high quality, and will help define an entrance into Zionsville with a prominent piece of land. You will find that the farm is rich in enhanced building architecture. It will also include a 4-story parking structure, which provides a better utilization of land instead of a sea of surface parking with a 400 multi-unit family apartment. This project will also provide density, which allows a much greater assessed value, which the community will benefit from many years. The TIF allows for the installation of significant infrastructure in the phase 1 multifamily component that will allow the retail to be developed quicker and will help attract upscale retail use. Without the TIF, this amount of infrastructure could not be installed. This TIF is being proposed in phases, and the developer is only asking for an effective rate of 76.8% of the phase 1 portion of the increment. This development allows for good stewardship and enhanced treatment of a critical gateway corridor for Zionsville. This will elevate the corridor in a very desired manner. As the voice for the business community, we want to express support for development such as this that will help diversify our tax base, allow continued growth for Zionsville while delivering on a desired aesthetic piece for a growing and critical gateway corridor. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, Amy, are there any other requests to speak?
No, there are not.
Next up is the Mayor Administration update. Do we have an update from the Mayor Administration?
No, we do not.
All right, Councilor Garrett has asked for a letter to Mayor Styron to be read and introduced into record during this time. Mayor Styron, local resident, entrepreneur, Graham Rahal has filed the LOI to purchase lots 10 and 11 in Creekside Corporate Park. He is proposing to bring his consortium of high-end automotive, motorcycle related businesses to our community. I'm sorry, high-end automotive and motorcycle related business to our community, as well as Mr. and Mrs. Rahal's charitable foundation. Not only will this add $20 million in assessed value to our community with their 100 high-paying jobs, but it will also become an attraction for tourists who will further compound the positive effects by visiting our shops and restaurants. This project would be a huge economic coup for the community. Mr. Rahal is being actively courted by other communities who understand the economic drivers that this development would bring with it. His preferred location is Zionsville, but only Creekside Corporate Park, given the proximity of the race team, which you lured to our town and jump-started these discussions. The proposed project is currently in front of the RDC, Redevelopment Commission. This group is made up of 3 mayoral appointments and 2 town council appointments, and it has yet to vote on starting the negotiations for this LOI after 2 public meetings and 1 executive session. This delay creates uncertainty and puts this project in jeopardy. Given his need to expand the business, members of this council have attended these RDC meetings and been vocal proponents of this project. Your campaign for mayor and subsequent transition to office put a spotlight into Creekside Corporate Park. You told Zionsville Monthly Magazine in January of 2020 that, quote, Julie and I are working to attract businesses and work through their obstacles so that we can bring their businesses to Creekside. You further stated, quote, I would love to have 5 new businesses in Creekside in the administration's first year. You were also quoted as saying, quote, we are going to eliminate these barriers as much as we can. At your State of the Town in February 2020, you told the audience regarding Creekside, quote, one of the things I was really concerned about and just didn't understand is why Creekside Corporate Park had not had more investment in the last 6-ish years it was available, end quote. When you joined our meeting in April 18th, 2022, you indicated in your introductory remarks that you, quote, ran for mayor because I wanted to increase economic activity, end quote. You later told this council at the same meeting, quote, please let me know what other initiatives you all have so that we can amplify and support through the town's activities, end quote. The filling of Creekside is a goal that is shared by this council, and having GRP in the corporate park is part of that goal. We hope your support can serve as a common base for which we can bridge our fractured relationship. We are therefore asking you to help in partnering with us to bring this project to our community. Please join us in vocally supporting Mr. Rahall's efforts and asking the RDC to enter into good faith negotiations to sell him lots 10 and 11. Please help us in eliminating the barriers to entry for those that want to invest in Zionsville and achieving our mutual goal of filling up a long-term dormant town-owned property. Thank you. And that is signed, members of the council. If anyone would like to sign that, but we will make sure Amy gets a copy and delivers that to the mayor. All right. Up next is new business, the consideration of adoption of resolution regarding establishment of economic development area / approval for a declaratory resolution and economic development plan for the Michigan Road Economic Development Area. This is resolution 2022-06, and I believe Brian Christ from Ice Miller is going to speak.
Good evening. This is the first time I believe that this process has been in front of the council. The vote that is proposed to you tonight is simply reaffirm the vote of the Planning Commission with respect to the establishment of the formal name is the Economic Development Plan for the Michigan Road Corridor. There will be 3 more votes if you vote in favor of this evening, and everything else goes the way it's supposed to with respect to the redevelopment commission. There would be scheduled a resolution that actually creates the economic development area that you all would have to vote on in June. Then there would be, the normal ordinance process to adopt a bond ordinance sometime in July and August. So the overall timeline, such as we have it mapped out now, is completion of the EDA and the economic development area and the bond resolutions by the end of August.
So this, Brian, I noticed the timeline, to your point, puts us in a closing around August of 2022.
Correct.
So this is not obviously making this vote tonight is not anything that finalizes it, just moves the ball a little bit further down the road.
You're not spending any money tonight.
Yeah.
No, you're reaffirming what a decision the planning commission has made. It's a statutory process. You're really early in the process. So.
Yep. Any questions from council?
Not a question, just more of a statement. I understand where we're at in the process and that we're early on. And I've actually talked to Steve and I love the project. Just a reminder that, as we get closer to actually making this formal, my ask would be to help me understand why a TIF makes sense here, where I personally made a vote. How many years ago was that now? 3 years ago. So on Sycamore Flats, 3 years ago, where we turned down that project because it was a TIF to support residential. And so I've talked to Steve, kind of have an idea of where he's going with that, but I think it would be good for everybody to understand the difference in that versus this.
Yeah, I don't know anything about the previous, the previous requested issuance. And I think that this is more than just residential.
Understand.
There is a commercial component and there's infrastructure needs that's related to the entire project. But, as for, policy wise, why it's different, I'll certainly take that question back.
I just know it'll come up down the road. I just thought I'd help you be prepared down for the questions coming down the road.
We definitely will.
Any other questions? I mean, as I see this, there's about 18 steps between now and the end of the road, so.
It's a complicated statutory process. It's not, it goes back and forth between the now it goes back and forth between the RDC and the town council. There'll be a public hearing if you vote to approve the planning commission's decision. I think it's scheduled May 23rd. So that is an opportunity if, other members of the public have, similar questions to the councilman there with respect to, why is this different from something else that's done before and why this is, why is this a good idea for Zionsville? That's what that forum is supposed to be for.
Yeah, I think there's plenty of opportunity for support, dialogue, demonstration, whatever we're going to see. So any questions, any other comments or anything? Otherwise, I would make a motion to adopt resolution 2022-06.
Second.
Second by Councilor Trailer. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Resolution passes, or motion passes 6 in favor, 0 opposed. Thank you. Up next is a consideration of a request for waiver of Board of Zoning Appeals fee. This is I believe Mitch Thompson is going to present. Mitch, if you would just state your name and address. Thank you.
Sure. Good evening, members of the council. My name is Mitch Thompson. Address is 10907 Pleasant View Drive in Carmel, Indiana. My wife, Kim Arbiter, who's out of town on business, and I are here before you tonight to request a waiver of a second fee for BZA for a special exception. Just a brief history. We are attempting to split off a little bit of land that is family land, about 100 acres. We're looking to split off about 10 acres or so. We had identified an area that we wanted to use. Late last year, we began the process with BZA. We engaged the development department in January of this year. We went before the BZA on April 6th, and we had paid the special exception fee at that time. Unfortunately, it was voted down 3-2. We are 1.25 miles north of the airport and have been affected by the study that was recently adopted by the council. During that meeting, it was identified that if we were to shift the location of our home to the east slightly, that it would likely have a favorable outcome. We talked to the development department and are moving forward with that request. And we feel that although we're grateful for the opportunity to go before the BZA again without having to wait a year, that literally all of the documents are exactly the same that we are presenting, with the exception of where the split of land would be. So because of the recency of this and without having the benefit of a continuation during the meeting to make some adjustments, we're requesting a waiver of the fee tonight. And from the development department, our understanding is you're the only ones who can waive that fee.
Mitch, you said you guys have to go back again in front of the BZA. So
Yes, on June
we have to
1st.
we have to pay another fee when you go back
That's what
That's
he's
what
trying to get it waived right now
because of that.
because of that. And can I give a little clarity to this from a council perspective? So I've been involved in this in a way, great folks, they did the right thing. They called me up, said, hey, we're in your district. And as it worked out, they were not only were in my district, this property is maybe a mile down the road from my house. On the same road. And I went out and met with them before they went to the BZA. I honestly didn't think there would be an issue with the BZA. What I did not foresee, because I wrote a letter in support of their filing. They're substantially north of the runway. However, that area in the airport strategic plan was marked as not being suitable for development. I think this is where it's key to point out that plans, ordinances, everything, none of them are perfect. and they all have room for an exception to the rule, if you will. And I think this was a good case for it, in my opinion, for an exception to the rule of them, because the way their property lies is that cone of the airport that comes out and says, hey, this is not suitable for development. Most of their property does not, the family property does not lie within that cone. However, the spot that they had picked out that they wanted to build the house did lie within that cone. And the BZA stood by, hey, they actually gave me kind of a hard time in the meeting. I got to listen to it. It was interesting, but they gave me a little bit of a hard time for having supported the airport strategic plan, and then also supported this request for a variance from said plan. So because it was so recent, but in my opinion, it was one of those things we didn't foresee a single property. What we were trying to prevent was dense development within that cone. And the reason for that being, if an airplane goes down and there's one house in the middle of 70 acres, not real likely they're going to hit that one house. If there's 70 houses in 70 acres, that's a little bit different. You've got a much higher probability of actually harming someone. So I wrote a letter in support to the BZA. Again, they voted it down, as is their right. But they could have, I've sat on the BZA in the past too, so I know a little bit about how it works. They could have continued it, because they did bring up the option, hey, why don't you just move the house to a different area of the property? But they didn't vote to continue it to see that path out. Instead, they just voted it down. So I would be in support of waiving this fee, because in my mind, they could have easily just continued it that night to allow for the changes.
Yeah, so just so I understand the timeline, you went in front of the BZ or the BZA, presented your plan. They essentially instructed you that you could do this in a different part of the property, and then now you have to come back and redo it, and they're wanting you to refile the fee.
Correct. And at this point, you no longer have the airport study fallen in.
Yeah.
The only thing I think you would have to have on this is right to farm is the.
Right. It's
So
still
you have
zone
to have-
agricultural.
Yeah, you have to have a variance to have a single family home in the ag, and then also file a right to farm or sign a right to farm. So it's pretty simple, but I would make the motion if you don't mind, if you're ready for it.
I mean, anybody else have any questions or for the petitioner?
Just a comment, it's OT, right?
Yes, sir.
So 27 years ago. So I'm glad to be here to help you with this. Officer Thompson was my DARE officer 27 years ago. So
All right.
Yeah,
took a little bit to put that together, but that's all right.
Nice.
Recognize the haircut.
I recognize the name.
I like it.
Yeah.
He liked it so much, he decided to go with it.
Yeah, he went with it too. Yeah, if there's no other questions or comments, I would certainly entertain a
So
motion.
Mitch, you've already, you're ready to move the location of the home to a place that's not in that zone, that cone already?
Right. So originally we picked out a wooded lot area that made sense, that a plane wouldn't crash into trees. And we wanted to maintain the agricultural area since it is an ag land. Because we have about, 70 acres that we lease out. But the wooded area is what was voted down 3-2. And so we're moving to the cornfield and cutting out about 10 acres out of that.
Did you have to readjust your designs for the home, or is
No,
fit?
same. Yeah, same home.
You want to make the motion?
Yeah, so I'll make the motion to approve the waiver of the Board of Zoning Appeals fees.
First by Counselor Traylor, second by Vice President Burke. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion passes 6 in favor, 0 opposed.
Thank you.
Up next is other matters. I just real quick, as everyone knows, we obviously removed an old business item from today's agenda, the Historic Preservation Commission ordinance. After speaking with Councilor Culp this morning, the decision was made to remove the ordinance from tonight's agenda so that councilors and constituents alike can have the opportunity to review the updates and changes. Thank you for your patience as we work through the proposed ordinance and consider it for a future meeting. Any other items from counselors? Holy moly. Up next is claims.
Well, what happens when Josh isn't here?
Josh is sick, by the way. Josh called me this afternoon and certainly under the weather. So, yeah, up next is claims. Are there any questions for claims? Regarding claims? Kelly, welcome.
Thank you. This is supposed to say figure or not. Here, remember the protocol. So, good evening.
You've watched the meetings. You're ready for my questions, right?
I am ready.
Yeah, I unfortunately,
You have any of this
I
stuff.
looked at the claims. They look good. I've got no questions.
That's awesome.
Had a great lunch with our new CFO as well, and very excited about the direction we're heading. So hoping that this is the first of many steps to getting the financial picture in order for the town.
So the claims were noticeably higher this go around, and it was the ARPA funds that kind of blew it out of the water a little bit,
Yes,
right?
this is the
So
first time we've used ARPA funds. There's also, I can't remember which councilman asked last time about the appraisal fees. We only had 2 appraisals last time. The third one's in this round.
Yeah.
So yeah, we were able to give, I believe anyone who is recognized with the first round of ARPA funds, they received those last Friday.
Motion to approve claims.
second,
First by Counselor Choi, was that Counselor Melton?
yes, sir.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion passes 6 in favor, 0 opposed. Thanks, Kelly. Up next, I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Second by Counselor Culp. All those in favor signify by saying aye. All those opposed, same sign. Next regular town council meeting is scheduled for Monday, May 16, 2022 at 8 a.m. in the Zionsville Town Hall chambers. Please note that's an 8 a.m. start time. Final notice will be posted in compliance with the Indiana open door law.